It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Good morning and welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News on this, the second day of August 2022, coming to you from Bedford County in Central Virginia area. And this morning, folks, today's top story is MSC Cruises drops pre-cruise testing on short cruises from U.S. ports. That's on, of course, Travel and Cruise Industry News on this, the second day of August. Today is National Ice Cream Sandwich Day. Now, I can deal with that. So what you need to do is go out and have a nice ice cream sandwich sometime this afternoon and all of that. And I just see that Guga and Rob popped in this morning. And by the way, Guga and Rob, do you see what I am modeling today? This is the new Guga and Rob water wicking shirt, and I love it. It came last night, so I decided to wear that today. Did not know that they would be popping in today. So Guga and Rob, welcome aboard. All right, today's headlines: besides MSC Cruise dropping pre-cruise testing, Carnival hits a milestone, construction underway on 2 new ports, and the New Zealand cruise ban is lifted, and a whole lot more live here at 11 this morning. If you're listening via the podcast, welcome aboard. You can always access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net, or anywhere where you get your podcasts from. All the big guys, Google Podcast, Amazon Music, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, Podchaser, Stitcher, TuneIn, any of them. Just search for Travel and Cruise Industry News, and up pops the fat travel guy. And as always, in case I post some pictures, which I do usually, with the news stories at least, or from one of Chillie Cruises' family when they're out and about, there's always a link in the description to the podcast so you can access the video feed and jump over and check out any pictures. Now, I do have a semi-announcement to make this morning. On September 8th and 9th, the shows will be live from on the road. That's my birthday is the 9th, of course. But I will be on my way to Miami on the 8th and 9th. I'll find a McDonald's someplace along the way. I'll try to do a live show, even if it's a quickie live show at 11 o'clock each day. And then the next time you really see me live will be on the 10th. And I will be coming to you live from Symphony of the Seas. So that's my new September booking. So I'm really looking forward to being on Symphony of the Seas. Now, our buddy Rochelle Salerno, you know, we've been following her off, she's been traipsing around Europe forever. So she got off at a one of the stops on Odyssey, and she showed a picture of this donkey. I said, "What, Rochelle? I don't want to see a picture of a donkey. You need to be riding him." And so, sure enough, there she is. She's riding him, and of course, this isn't Santorini, so she's riding a donkey and carrying the Santorini sign. And of course, you know, Rochelle, she got to find herself a church or a cathedral. And of course, she always visits a church or a cathedral everywhere she's been, all through Europe. So, and then there's the scenery of Santorini is just awesome. And that's another one there. And then back on Odyssey, looking out, just look at the color of that water. That's just gorgeous. So that's from Santorini this morning on Odyssey of the seas. So, all right, I'll be back with today's news after a word from one of our network sponsors. All right, our top story today deals with MSC Cruises. MSC Cruises, of course, dropped the pre-cruise testing from U.S. ports. They also introduced less strict measures for unvaccinated guests and removed the need for PCR testing, instead stating a negative antigen or NAAT test will suffice. For cruises of 6 nights and longer, guests will still need to provide a negative test result. Following in the wake of Carnival and Royal Caribbean and the other minor lines, MSC Cruises has made several changes to the health and safety protocols for cruises sailing from the U.S. The new protocols will be in effect from August the 8th onwards. They include that all fully vaccinated guests sailing on a cruise of 5 nights or shorter will no longer be required to provide a negative COVID-19 test before sailing. Instead, the cruise line only recommends getting tested before sailing. For all unvaccinated guests 2 and up, a lab-administered negative viral test, NAAT or antigen, taken within 3 days of embarkation is needed for all cruises from U.S. ports. The same policy counts for all cruises onward MSC cruise ship sailing itineraries 6 days and longer from U.S. ports. For all cruises sailing from the United States, there will be no changes to the vaccination policy that are in place currently. That means that all guests ages 12 and older must be fully vaccinated to get on the MSC cruise. MSC recommends that fully vaccinated guests receive booster doses when eligible per the CDC recommendations. While some cannot wait for the cruise companies to drop these protocols, the fact is that COVID-19 is still here, and the public perception of an outbreak on board is still something that weighs heavily on the cruise executives that have to make these kind of decisions. For now, the changes we have seen in the last weeks are already a huge step forward, and one not many people predicted just a month ago. With that in mind, we could see more changes sooner than we think and sooner than some of us actually would like to see. I, for one, have no problem with the pre-cruise testing. Yeah, it's a pain in the tush, but I clearly don't mind at all that MSC is still requiring vaccinations. That'll help me thinking safer, at least. All right. Carnival Cruise Line, they kind of hit a milestone day before yesterday. They have now carried 3 million guests since the restart of guest operations in July of 2021, when Carnival Vista set sail, cruising once again after the industry-wide pandemic shutdown. Carnival set the pace for the industry as the first major cruise line to return to full guest operations in the U.S., and we continue to lead as we now have welcomed 3 million guests who have enjoyed much-needed vacation, said Carnival President Christine Duffy. The economic benefit to our home ports and destinations is also significant, and we are looking forward to restarting cruise operations in Australia currently. That expectation is being realized in the increase of guests across the fleet. Carnival saw its total guest count hit 2 million mark in May, and it now has risen to 3 million in less than 75 days, an average of 95,000 guests per week. These impressive increases come during the busy Caribbean summer season, when more families are setting sail for cruise vacations. To meet the pent-up demand for safe and economical getaway, Carnival is striving for 110% occupancy on its ships for the rest of the summer, welcoming families and groups to fill extra berths along above the standard double occupancy measurement. All right, congratulations to Carnival for hitting 3 million. Congratulations also to my friends in the Dominican Republic with the construction of the new Cabo Rojo cruise port well underway. The Dominican Republic aims to become the Caribbean's top cruise destination. Set to open towards the end of 2023, the new cruise port is a $126 million project that will have space for 4 cruise ships at any one time and is filled with activities close by, while the area itself is one of the top destinations on the island. At the same time, the country is investing in the Samana cruise port, which could bring back ships from Norwegian and Royal Caribbean. Executives from both cruise lines recently attended the groundbreaking ceremony. That's pretty much an indication that they're going to be involved. In a bid to become the biggest cruise destination in the Caribbean, Dominican Republic is invested heavily in its cruise infrastructure. The country already hosts some of the busiest cruise ports in the area, including Amber Cove, which I love, Puerto Plata, which is right down the road. I have not actually been to Puerto Plata yet. Isla Catalina, La Romana, which I've been to. I prefer Amber Cove, Punta Cana, and the capital of Santo Domingo. So congratulations to my friends down there in the Dominican Republic. That's pretty good stuff. And finally, in the news today, folks, the Prime Minister of New Zealand publicly announced the initial cruise ban on Saturday, March 14th, 2020 at 4:30 p.m. New Zealand time. Cruise ships already in New Zealand waters at that time were not included in the ban, which was expected to end June 30th of 2020. New Zealand's maritime border is now open to international cruise ships, specialty vessels, and recreational vessels such as yachts at midnight on July the 31st, 2022. The country's maritime border reopened to cruisers after over 2 years of closures. New Zealand's maritime border hasn't encountered a foreign cruise ship since March of 2020, but on August the 12th, P&O Cruises Australia's Pacific Explorer will be the first ship to re-enter its border. Carnival-owned Pacific Explorer will embark from Sydney on August the 8th, arrive on August the 12th for a full day of adventures, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. to Auckland, New Zealand, for a 12-day round-trip Fiji sail. The industry body and leading voice of New Zealand's cruise sector, the New Zealand Cruise Association, has had its annual conference canceled for the past 2 years, but it's finally to be held in Auckland on August the 18th. So congratulations to the guys down under, right next door to Australia, for getting things underway. So, all right, let's jump over and see who is fussing at me in the chat room today. All right, Hot Air Tom is with us. Congratulations to It's Jason. It's now you'll be YouTube monetized. Yes, Hot Air. Jason did hit monetization finally on his YouTube channel. Congratulations to Jason on that one. And by the way, Hot Air, I am all checked in, all done and everything for our cruise. I'm just a little slower than you are, but it all got done. And I didn't have any problems whatsoever. It was just going through and entering into stuff and, taking a stupid picture for their security and, all the usual stuff. But yeah, it's all done now. So, will the Chinese blow Nancy's plane out of the sky? I'm waiting with bated breath. Yeah, well, I don't wait too long. Guga and Rob, like I said, are here. And they said, oh my God, I just noticed. Yep. Guga, thank you, buddy. Yeah, no problem. Who were Guga and Rob? Oh, Guga and Rob, they were actually, I interviewed them from a ship and over there in Greece, and we had terrible, just horrible audio. But they are a couple cruise creators I became friends with on JJ Cruise, Freedom of the Seas. They were on that. Really, two excellent cruise creators. A lot of fun to be with. I now consider them friends. So, yeah, so I saw that they had this moisture wicking shirt. And I said, I got to have that. So I have not been to water wicking with it yet because it just came in and I haven't been out to the pool or in the rain or anything else. But it's one of these shirts that it's supposed to keep you cooler when it's hot and warmer when it's cool. But it's, man, is it comfortable. So highly recommend it. Guga and Rob, check them out. So Nikki's with us. Hi, Nikki. Bruce had a nice discussion last night. I better put that one up. Bruce had a nice discussion last night on a new port in Dominican Republic to be built. Lots of amenities in the gated safe area. Looked beautiful. Do you know which port he was? That was probably the new one. Cabo Rojo would be my guess, because that one is at least well underway in construction. I don't think they've actually started. They may have just started on Samantha, but not gotten very far. Cindy's with us. Hi, Cindy. Here's a question for Hot Air and Cindy. The guy that I originally booked with, and I booked all my Norwegian cruises through him, apparently is no longer there. At least his phone is not working. And I've tried going by his name and can't seem to come up with it that way. So if I just call Norwegian number, can I request like Cindy's guy? I have his number, so I could use that and go directly to him. Would that be would that be okay with the Norwegian folks? I'd a whole lot rather have somebody like from Cindy or Hot Air or one of you guys that, since I'm going to be starting off with somebody new with Norwegian. So just thought I'd ask that. Guga and Rob will be on that ship on August the 20th. Well, you'll have a head start on me. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I got a wonderful deal. Everybody knows I've been looking for bargains, and to jump on a cruise like that, trust me, folks, I got a bargain, a real bargain. How would you drive back to Virginia on August 29th to return in a week? Find another cruise. Yeah, but I'm flying, Tom. This is the flight that I couldn't get out of. That's why I'm flying down on the day of the cruise, which I hate doing. This was one that it had to be used up or I'd lose it. And I didn't even have any choice in booking it. I mean, it was said, okay, you're taking this flight. So I was not happy at all with American on that, but that's okay. So anyway, I could do that as well, but I also have some doctor's appointments in there that I have to be here for that. So drive down to Key West, enjoy the island. Yeah, I'd love to, Tom, but sometimes, sometimes life gets in the way of what we want to do. Hot Air Tom waved and she waved back. How are you doing? Carol's with us. Hi, Carol. There's Jason. Hot Air Tom, I didn't think Bruce still made videos. Me either. Hot Air says pain is reduced, waiting for the Wednesday doctor appointment to see what testing found. It was a picture during his normal show. Morning all. Made it home safely yesterday. Very good, Katie. Glad you're back home. Carol says, hi, Guggen Rob. Carol also follows Guggen Rob. She and I have been on several of their live streams together. So, yeah, good guys. Guggen and Rob say, hi, Carol. There is COVID all over the ships for sure, just like on land. So cruise lines are rolling the dice. Well, I dealt with that a little bit yesterday on the show. My buddy John is canceling out of a cruise. However, he's leaving the option open if the price drops enough to jump back in on it. But he's just not as comfortable traveling now as he has been. I have been comfortable on cruise ships. I'm not comfortable getting to cruise ships, which is why I started driving on a lot of cruises. I'm not comfortable on airplanes. Unfortunately, for this one coming up in August, I have no choice. So I do have to fly on that. And unfortunately, I got to fly on the day of the cruise, which I never do, ever. So anyway, I'm rolling the dice on that end of it. Not so much on, I've taken 2 days to drive to Miami, which I've done the last time I drove to Miami. It took me 2 days comfortably. 2 days coming home. So this will be 2 days with taking time out to do a brief show in there. It may not be a 45-minute or an hour show. It might be a shorter show, 15 or 20 minutes, and then I'll be back on the road driving. But you can Rob say good morning to Katie. Chillie Cruises, did you see the exceptions to the no testing on short cruises? Cruises to the Bahamas, Grand Cayman, and Bermuda require testing no matter the length of the cruise. Cruises to the Bahamas and Grand Cayman and Bermuda, I don't remember it being in the Bahamas. I'll have to look that exception up. I was thinking it was Grand Cayman, Bermuda, and was it the Bahamas? Yeah, maybe it was the Bahamas. Well, anyway. Katie says, I have to go find your Chillie interview. Well, Guggen Rob, okay. I don't remember what day it was, but that was unfortunate because it would have been such a good interview. And it was the one that we had horrible feedback and never could figure out why. I'm reasonably sure now it was because of my phone, which now I have a new phone and it seems to be doing much better. So Jason says, I'm not going back to Bermuda anytime soon, as the seas were rough in the Atlantic. Jason, how bad was it? Bad, like 50-knot winds on the way back. Wow. I'm looking forward to my 26-day Western Grand Mediterranean cruise in November. COVID doesn't worry me. Yeah, I'm not. I'm kind of like Carol. Once I get on the boat, I'm still going to be fine. I mean, I'm fully vaccinated. I'm fully boosted. If they come out with a third booster, I'll be the first one in line. I don't mind getting the shots. So it's Jason the Cub. He meant oof. Tom, not sure if he is or not. Rough seas are great. Amusement ride with no added cost. I'm not a furry. Yeah. You are young, though. No, I mean, Jason's younger than you and I are, hot air. But Jason's not that young. So, try crossing the Bering Sea. We had 12 hurricane winds for 6 days. It was brutal, I bet. I've been out at sea on some older ships that literally, to walk down a hallway, you'd bang off both sides. I haven't done that in a long time. The stabilizers now, but even in rough seas, are not that bad. Pizza review with hot air. Okay. Sonny's with us. Hi, Sonny. She says hi to Google and Rob, too. Emily's here. Hi, gang. Emily's up in New York. Jason, have you had a Marco's pizza? Are they in your area? We had a couple last week when we were in the hotel. Good pizza. Marco's Pizza. We have a Marco's here in Lynchburg. I didn't realize they were a chain. And we use Marco's every now and then. That's not our regular go-to pizza joint, but yeah, we use a Marco's here too. Jason has hot air delicious. What size ship were we on in the Bering Sea? Sonny wants to know. Cindy says you should be able to switch to my guy since your guy left. I love Dane. Yeah, what I thought about having to do, I thought if I have any trouble at all with the check-in, because, there's always something that goes wrong when you're checking in. They don't accept an airplane flight or something silly. But yeah, I just went right through it with just a piece of cake. So, Hot Air says you should be able to use a contact number to adopt that PCC. My PCC has a direct number. Cindy should have a direct number for hers. Yeah, that's and she sent it to me. That's what I have. So, and I had one directly for mine. That's why I discovered that he's not there, because nobody answers his phone. It just goes to voicemail all the time, and I leave messages and nothing ever came back. He was always back to me immediately. That must have slowed your trip down, Carol. I hope everyone is okay aboard the ship. Oh, Emily, that was some time ago. That wasn't currently. And Hot Air says, oops, forgot about the air. Yeah. Joanne. Hi, Joanne. Good to see you again. Glad you made it back home, Katie. Emily says. Joanne says hi to Google and Rob, too. See there, Google and Rob? We got all kinds of people here that know who you are. Carol says, I was on Diamond Princess. I was fine, and so were many others. It was a 28-day cruise. from Vancouver to Beijing. Sweet. Many were seasoned cruisers. You have to be on a cruise like that. Chillie and his new phone. Yes, indeed. The phone is awesome. I'm certainly glad that I did it. I should have done it about probably 2 years ago. You know me. I'm tight as a tick. But finally I said, man, I can't deal with this damn old phone anymore. So I got to the point where I'd charge it, and the charger would last. I'd run out of charge before I'd get through a full show. So yeah, that was definitely a sign that it was time to go. Emily says, I can't get my second booster till November. Doc said because she got COVID. Yeah, sorry about that. We'll test myself today. Keep you guys posted. Did you see the news that Getaway is suffering from reduced speed itinerary changes again? No, I did not see that. That was not on my news wires this morning. Of course, Hot Air gets some direct news from Norwegian stuff before I do quite often. All right, guys, that's going to wrap me up for today. As always, folks, thank you for being here. If you're new to the channel, we always appreciate thumbs up. And if you have not subscribed, please consider doing so, as I hope to get to 3,000 subscribers one day soon. But yeah, hop in. Doesn't cost anything. Bell notification will tell you when I go live or when a new video is posted. So, but that's going to wrap me up for today. As always, folks, stay safe, stay healthy, think about cruising, and hopefully one day soon we'll all get together on the high seas. Later, y'all.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie Cruises.